Right, hello. Today we're going to be talking about Eric Berlin. Now, I hear an awful lot of students bashing Eric, and to be fair, he's a very easy character to bash. He's very easy to criticise, he's very easy to slate in our essays, but we've got to be offering a little bit more than that when it comes to our English Literature GCSE. We've got to be offering both sides of him, so I really hope throughout this video I can show you both the bashable side, but also a side to him that we need to be showing our examiner, the side of him as a victim, the choices that he makes are not without a reason, and we need to be exploring that. Now, throughout the course of my video, just like my other ones, I'm going to be hitting all the things the examiner wants. I'm not going to give you 1,000 points about Eric, but I'm going to give you 5 key quotes, and for each one I'm going to explain to you how we can hit the examiner's mark scheme at each step of the way. Now, at the start of our essay, we need to be given a conceptualised introduction, which is going to include the 3 things that we have on the side of our screen. So, first of all, an understanding of the question. Eric is the only son of Mr. and Mrs. Berling and an employee at his father's works. Dead straightforward, dead simple. Now, over the course of my essay, I'm going to be making the following points. Priestley presents a young man who is not comfortable in his social situation, who is poorly brought up by his parents, and he empathises with the lower classes, but he still uses Eva for his own selfish gain. The key point I want to be making across here is that he's trying to be a good guy, he's trying to support the lower classes. However, because his parents have already ruined him, he hasn't got that chance to do so, and he gets it wrong. I believe that through Eric, Priestley demonstrates the youth have the desire to help others and deliver his socialist message. However, if they continue to be products of a capitalist upbringing, they will lack the character and awareness to make a positive difference. Look how many times I've mentioned Priestley in my introduction. It's all about Priestley. So, as with my other videos, I'm going to start with a timeline plan. And the first quote I'm going to start off when it comes to Eric is this one, Squiffy. Eric is not comfortable in his situation. He's already getting drunk at the start of the night. Maybe this suggests that his guilt is eating him up. Maybe because he's thinking of Eva and what he's done. Maybe that he is not comfortable with where he is and he's got other things on his mind. But maybe he's also a little bit more aware of his responsibility than his family. They're sitting there enjoying life, drinking their port, happy as Larry. He knows there's a darker world out there. He's seen the dangers of this world. He's not going to be as comfortable as they are, just blindly enjoying the night. Maybe as well, we've got to think of his relationship with Gerald. Mr. Berling has made a point that Gerald is the son-in-law he's always wanted. He's going to be a little bit inferior. He's not truly comfortable where he is. Now that's really key because this establishes right at the outset of the play that he is not at ease with his parents and he doesn't feel like he can be as comfortable with them as, say, Gerald is. Now there's also very interesting symbolism of drinking here. We've got 2 characters, Eric and Eva, who are both suffering, both struggling, and they both turn to drink to support their situations. Eric is drinking port, while Eva is drinking disinfectant. They're both drinking them to take away their pain, but both of them are reflecting their class and the opportunities they are allowed to correct their situations. There is a vast gulf between Eric and Eva, the same way there's a vast gulf between Eric drinking port and Eva drinking bleach. Both of them are going to solve their problems, but both of them in very different ways. So my second paragraph is going to be on this one. Why shouldn't they try for higher wages? Now this is when Mr. Berling is talking to the inspector and he admits that he didn't give his staff the higher wages that they asked for. And Eric stands up for the lower classes here. He says, why shouldn't they try for higher wages? Now, unlike his parents, he seems to empathise with the working classes a little bit more. He seems to understand their plight and understand their dangers, probably because of his experiences with Eva. But Priestley is also showing here that the youth are more open-minded and more tolerant to the lower classes. Unlike the olders, they are more likely to take up his socialist message and they're more likely to advocate their cause. Now, this is also quite a topical quote for the 1946 audience. They would have known about the general strike, they would have known about the Russian Revolution, and they would have known about the rise of the Labour Party with their socialist principles, championing exactly things like this, higher wages for the lower classes. So Eric's view here is reflecting the national thinking at 1946. He is very much the mouthpiece for what is going on in the context at the time of this play. Then moving on to my third point, and he makes this point. I was in that state when a chap easily turns nasty. Here he's referring to his sexual assault on Eva Smith. Now, he practically admits to it, and that takes obviously a great amount of shame and great amount of disgust from his part to be able to do that. But it also shows, and sadly, that in this moment Eva Smith meant absolutely nothing to him, and the inspector makes this point that he used her like an animal, like a thing, not a person. He's using her for his own gratification, and he uses his male power and he's using his wealth and his prestige to be able to get to her in the first place. He's using everything that his family have given to him in order for his own selfish gain. Now, I think it's a really key word choice here, which is easily. The fact it's so easy for him to do that shows the freedom and the ease of men to be able to act in this way, and I think this is further backed up by his informal term chap. It's too easy for a man in this day and age, in 1912, to go and do this sort of thing, to go and abuse women, to go and use his power for his own gain. But I think it also shows just how much he's been hurt by his family, and I've used this word ostracised, meaning he's been put to one side, he's been pushed away by his family. And he backs this up again when he says, I needed her, when he's referring to Eva Smith. He found something in her that he couldn't have with his family. I think it was love, I think it was acceptance, I think it was someone who understood him. He doesn't have that at home. He's got family and he's got parents that are not interested in him. They're more interested in Gerald because of the way he can enhance their reputation. Eric can offer nothing for them, so they are not going to be as supportive of him. He found something in her which he wanted to have, he wanted to keep. Yes, he did it through lust. Yes, he did it through pain. Yes, he did it through violence to start off with. But then he keeps going back to her because there is something there within her that he does not have at home. Now I'm going on to paragraph 4. And this is what we see a little bit of the side of him, the victim side of him, why he made that poor choice with Eva Smith. And he says, you're not the kind of father a chap can go to when he's in trouble. Here we see him as that victim. He's got a father so blinded by his own personal gain, he's not supported his son. And Eric is lost. I mean, he's imagine what it's like for a young man to become a new father, but then to lose the child at the best of times. That must be awful. But to do it in such acrimonious and such vile circumstances, with the great class divide between them, he is a man who needs help, he's lost, he needs guidance, he needs support, and he doesn't have the father that's able to do that. However, I think Priestley here is showing that although Eric feels regret and remorse, he's not been given the support to grow into an independent, capable man able to deal with adversity. He lacks the ability to change his or Eva's world. He's not been given the guidance and the support from his parents to be able to make that positive difference that Eric wants to be. Finally, my last quote is going to be this one. You killed them both, damn you, damn you. Now, it's sad and it's regrettable, but he does blame his mother here. Though he does feel bad, he feels remorseful for what he's done, and this comes across as anger and the way he shouts at his mum here, but he does blame his mother. He can't take that responsibility himself. That shows how, despite the great qualities we've shown of Eric, that he does empathise with the lower wages, the lower classes, that he does not feel comfortable in this situation. He can't take responsibility himself. He's still a product of that capitalist upbringing, i.e. he doesn't recognise his responsibility to others. If something's gone wrong, it must be someone else's fault. Now, although that is quite a negative perception from Priestley, it is progress. He is beginning to stand up to his mother, he is now able to stand up to his parents, and the inspector has had a positive impact on Eric and his own self-confidence. And that's got to be quite a powerful message for the future from Priestley, that the youth, even if they don't know the right way, even if they lack the character and the skills to be able to do so, at least they now have the fight and the desire to make a difference to the world. And that's got to be the most important thing. So, those are my 5 quotes I would have for Eric. These are the points that I would have made, and as you can see, we've managed to bash every single element of our mark scheme throughout it. I suggest you now go away and learn those quotes, and the very best of luck to you.